Right. So we've had a few members ask about NinjaTrader and how to use it and get it installed. Let me. This isn't going to be a scripted video or anything like that. I'm just going to go through getting started on it and a few settings and basic operation. Okay. First of all, you don't need to fund this. You don't need to buy any data. You don't need to do anything. You just need to create an account so that you can log in to their services. That's it. If you have a Tradeovate account, it's the same login. All right. So Tradeovate is owned by NinjaTrader. So you can log into Tradeovate or NinjaTrader with the same logins. Now, you're going to want data if you're not using prop firms. So, but we can talk about that individually on which ones to use or whatever, just ask. But let's basically, I'm just going to treat this as like you're trading with a prop firm for now. Okay. There's free data that they do give you if you do deposit money into their brokerage accounts. Because NinjaTrader is a broker, but that's something that we can get into on a later date. This is just ease of use or functions of use. So when you first launch NinjaTrader, you're going to see this window pop up. This is your control panel. Okay. NinjaTrader has different windows for each thing that pops up. So you can minimize what you don't need or move them around to however you want on your windows. I suggest when you're going to see some other windows pop up, some DOMs, maybe a chart or whatever, I suggest closing all of those, going to workspaces and creating a new workspace and naming it and then saving it. Okay. So that, and you can create multiple workspaces. And what that does is for all the different charts you open or different types of markets you trade or whatever, you can create different workspaces and click on them and it'll completely change the whole configuration of everything you're doing. So it's pretty intuitive. So the first thing you want to do when you get to this point right here is you're going to want to go to tools. Okay. You want to go to settings. Now we're going to go into general real quick and we're going to come down to multi-provider and we're going to click that. What that's going to do is allow you to log in to multiple brokers on the same control panel or in the same login on your initial login when you log into the software. I would change this to dark or slate dark. That's up to you. You're going to want numeric display style, and then you're going to want to put in time zone Eastern. Even if you don't live there, use Eastern because most of our tools require that time zone to work. Okay. And then this stuff is just going to be if you want it or not. So target filled, stop filled, stuff like that's going to talk to you, right? So we go into trading. You don't really need to fill anything there. When you get into strategies, let's see. No, you don't need to do anything there. Automated trading, yes. Turn on AT interface, especially if you're going to use Trade Pilot, because Trade Pilot is a strategy. That's how it actually is able to execute. So you need to turn that on right there. Okay. And then go into market data, go into preferred, go to futures and select NinjaTrader Continuum if you're using prop firms. If you're using another data provider, then you're going to want to select them. This is just to help with any disconnects and things like that. And then go ahead and hit apply and you're going to have to restart. Right. So once you do that, you're going to come into connections here and click configure. And then this is where you're going to put in your prop firm details. Most of the time it's going to be this NinjaTrader one here. And then you're going to call it whatever prop firm it is, type in your username and password, connect on startup, simulation account, and it'll show up in your connections list and it'll pop up in here when you log into it. Okay. Now, to open a chart, it's pretty simple. We're just going to go to new chart, right? And then we're going to want to select the instrument we're running. So if you're trading MNQ, you would select that. Micros are under micros here, and then the big ones are under futures here, like this. And then we go to micros again right here, and you can select that, and then your previously selected is always right here. Now, NinjaTrader can trade a lot of different markets. It's not just futures. So you can trade Forex markets, you can trade all kinds of different things, but we're focusing on futures, obviously. So I'm going to go to MNQ. Now it's going to ask you what kind of chart do you want, right? So if you want candles, we'll go to minutes, right? Or you can go to dailies or whatever, and you can type in, what kind of, if you want a 5-minute chart, there's 5 minute. Now, this isn't unlike other platforms where it's cloud-based, you're actually downloading the amount of data that you want, right? Standard is anywhere from 5 days, 5 to 30 days of data. Okay. So, or you can go even longer. You don't really, unless you're wanting to look at previous data that far back, you really don't need it. And you don't need it on every chart to download, right? So you can do 5 on this one, open a daily chart that you want to see a whole month worth of data, and then load up a whole month on that one, right? And then a chart style, whatever. Here's your colors. You can customize everything. Your label, and then what panel. If you were going to add in more than one asset, so you can come over here and click add, right? And then you can change this to, I don't know, MES. Oop, actually remove that. And then you can select MES and put MES in panel. Where did it go? Oh God, I lost it. Okay, here we go. Yeah, 1 or 2. See that? And then MNQ you can put in 1 or 2. So you can have them both on the same chart, just in different panels. And I believe you can put them on the same panel. That's not going to help you though, unless you normalize it. And it's a whole nother topic. Anyways, and then do you want your executions plotted, markers or text, right? And then how large do you want them? And then you click OK. And now a chart, well, it popped up on another screen for me, but hold on. A chart pops up. All right. So here is your trading chart. Now, you can zoom around, you can do this, but to move it up and down and anywhere you really want it, you have to hold control. And then now you can do this. See? So if I let go of control, I'm trying to push it up, it doesn't go anywhere. But if I want it, I can move it around by holding control. All right. Now, right click is pretty much where everything is, except there's a bunch of icons up here. First of all, you're going to want the chart trader opened, and that's this little icon right here, chart trader. Chart trader goes right here, and this is where you can select the accounts you want, buy, sell, whatever. You can do ATM strategies, which is your bracket orders. You can do, you can create ATM strategies right here, and then you can actually, automate some of it and auto break even with your stop strategies. So you can do auto break even, auto trail, and then you can do, multiple take profits just by, using these options here, adding in right here. You can add, different targets, and you can name them, and you can have a whole list of these ATM strategies, right? But we use the trade pilot, which pretty much does all that for you, and then it calculates position size and things like that. So anyways, so that's how you get to that right there. And then you can actually do a hidden when you're in the trade and you just want to manage it. You'll still see the brackets, right? And then data series is this little guy right here, right next to it. This is where if you wanted to change your time frame or something like that, you could just change it right here, or your chart type or whatever. You just click that little button right there, data series, and it'll pop up. And then you can, if you wanted to add another asset or something like that, you could do it all over again. So this is basically just that chart, or that screen that you opened when you wanted to create this chart. You can change assets right here, and you can do some changing of time frames right here. You can adjust your candles and what types you want and spacing of candles. And then here's all your drawing stuff right here, Fibonacci retracements, risk to reward, rulers, whatever. You can zoom in, zoom out, all these little tools here. Right click does the same thing. Here's your drawing tools, crosshair, whatever. So you'll just see all these things. Now, to save templates, you right click on this chart, go to templates and click save as, and you name it. Then you can load up templates that you want. So you can just create them once and then just load them up, right? Now, to install indicators, we're going to go to the control panel, right? And we're going to go to Tools, Import, NinjaScript Add-on. And when you click that, it's going to pop up with the browser thing. It says, what file do you want to install? That's where you're going to install, like, the .zip files for the indicators, FLB realflow.zip. So you would double click on this and it would install it. I don't want to do that because I already have it and it'll just throw an error. But that's how you install it. Now, to uninstall an indicator, you go to remove right here on Tools, remove NinjaScript assembly, and you pick what you want to remove right here. All right. And then once you have that installed, you may have to restart. It'll tell you. You can right click on any chart and go to indicators. Right. Now here's your list of indicators. Now, if you've installed any of the updated indicators, ours are all in this little folder right here. See that? So you can be like, okay, I want to install the FLB. So now you have it down here. Click on it, and now you can adjust the settings that you want, right? You can put on, do whatever you want to do, and then you can right click and click save, and you can save this as a default template for that indicator, or you can name it. So maybe you want a 4-hour setup one way, and a 2-hour setup the other way, and you can have all these different templates and savings saved in your folder here for that indicator. Now you can do that on every single indicator. You can create templates for everything, right? And then we click apply, and it puts it on the chart. See? All right. Now, if you want to do a strategy, like a bot or trade pilot, you right click on strategies and you go to FLB and you'll see trade pilot. So if we click on that, we double click it, right? And then we'll come over here and we select which account we want it to control. You have to do this, and we can save templates again on trade pilot, or you can save it as default. And so every time you open it, you don't have to mess with it. And then, well, I'm not logged into anything, so I will have to do that real quick. And then here we go. So now I can actually use it. The strategies, and then we can go to FLB trade pilot, right? And then we'll go to Sim 101. Yeah. Now to enable it, we go right here and you click enabled. Okay. And then we hit apply. And then now there it is. Now it's right there on the right. And you can use this to enter and exit trades. My price is way down there for whatever reason. There you go. And but market's closed, so that's what's going on. And then you can change, if you want more targets, you can do that, whatever you want to do. There's a whole PDF on how to use this thing. That's not what this video is for. Anyways, so that is how you install indicators. And then if you want to change anything, you just go back and select the one you want to change, and you make some changes. So say I want to go to the 4-hour zone instead. I click apply, and now I have a 4-hour zone on a 5-minute chart. Okay. And then maybe I want end caps. So I'm going to come down here and show end caps. I need to change where that's located. And then there's the 4-hour end caps, right? And again, control lets you move this around wherever you want. And then when you get into a trade, you'll see, your bracket orders. So that is pretty much it for the setup of NinjaTrader, and then the installation of the tools that we have. And pretty much it's not that hard to mess with. Getting your prop firms installed in here, it's just configure. Typically it's NinjaTrader right here, unless you're using Rhythmic, and then that's a whole nother game. But if you're getting a prop firm, just get the Trade of 8 ones, because those will work on NinjaTrader. And then we just select that, and then we literally come in here and we'll type in like a prop firm, right? And then we put in connect on startup, so we don't have to do it. And then we type in the username and password, hit apply, and then it'll show up in the list. And that's how you do that. And then if you need any other information in here, like if you come down here and you want, there's Trade Shield dashboard. If you install the trade copier, if you got Replicano, it's going to show up here, Replicano, and etc. But basically, you're just going to use chart. If you want depth chart, you can do that. And then you level 2 stuff that you can pull up like this, and it shows you the tape and stuff like that. But most of you aren't going to use any of that. Pulse is the no, it's not available with this. Okay, yep. But and then the workspaces. So every time you close this, right, it's going to ask you, okay, do you really want to shut down? Yes. Do you want to save your workspace? Yes. I'm canceling. That'll save your workspace here. But you can create new ones and start all over. And then when you select it, it'll pull up that workspace. So it'll close all the charts you have open and open up all the other charts that you have in the workspace for that workspace. So and then you can have as many of these charts as you want, right? So we can open up another one. We can go to MNQ and say I want a day chart. So I'll just go 1 day and 3. Well, we'll just do 180 days, right? And then click OK. And now I have a day chart right here that has 380 days or 180 days of data. And there we go. And then we could throw indicators on there if we want, strategies, whatever. We can open up NinjaTrader if we want to on it. It just doesn't matter. And then maybe I want like the FOB on there with oh, we don't have the year on here. Okay, I gotta change that. We need to add that on there. Now we got a monthly indicator on here, and we can see the monthly data from the zones. So if you have any questions or you need any help, let me know. But I hope this helps you and solves some of the NinjaTrader issues.